This is a real valuable tool with the saddle horse, and that is a set of hobbles. And if you remember a scene, thinking of Redford, and he just passed away yesterday. There was a scene in the Horse Whisperer that Robert Redford, when the horse ran out of the pond, when they were trying to rehabilitate him, the trick horse belonged to Rex Peterson. He's a great horse, but he got to quitting. They'd use cues to keep him with whips and things, and anyway, it didn't work out. So Buck had a horse called Pet that was a set double on the Horse Whisperer for the main horse, the one that Pilgrim that got hurt. So anyway, they didn't know what to do. So Buck said, well, maybe we can do this. And Pet was hobble broke, and Buck got a bucket of grain and went to where the cameras were, and we would get him where he would run to the grain. And so it was grass about this deep out in the meadow and big timber, and I went out and I laid in the grass where nobody could see me and held Pet with a set of hobbles. And then when they'd say action, I had a radio in my ear. I would release the hobbles or take my hands off, and Buck would shake a bucket of grain and call him, and he would run to the camera. So that's how we got that shot made, just kind of a cowboy thing. The Rex Peterson and the whole trick horse deal, they're amazing, and it just didn't work on that scene. There's a couple other ones that we did some things with ropes on feet and hobbles and all those things. But this right here, so I hobble rope Rocky when he was started, and then I reacquainted him with it the other day in the arena, and now he's it's really valuable. But the funny part about that story and the Horse Whisperer is we did about 7 or 8 takes of it, and the Redford yelled action or whatever in my ear, said let him go, and I let him go, and he didn't move. And they said, action, turn him loose. And I said, I did. And anyway, I reached up and I tickled him on the belly, and he just walked off and ran up to Buck. And so they were doing a scene, or they were doing a screening, which, you know, every month or so they would have all the crew come together and show what they had up to that point. And this scene, it just happened to be that take. You could see my hand come up and tickle that horse on the belly, and everybody knew exactly what happened, and it was just a big old roar. So that's a good thought about Hobbling and Redford and the Horse Whisperer and Buck and all the great things. Some of the cowboy things really worked out in Hollywood, and a lot of places where the whips and the trick horse stuff, it didn't work at that particular scene, and just having a horse hobble broke, or I'll tell you a story about leading one by the front foot sometime. Now this could cause him, those cows walking by could cause him to want to go with them. We'll see what happens here. Anyway, Rocky's, he's got the old hobble down while I roll up some electric fence. He's looking at me like, should I go or should I stay? Anyway, we'll just continue on, but I just want to share that story because, you know, Redford just passed away, and he was a great guy on the movie. I wasn't like best friends and never talked to him after this movie. I'm sure Buck did a lot, but I didn't. But I had lots of good memories, lots of good conversations, and he was a good guy and wanted to do the right thing for ranching and horsemanship. And not everybody in the ranching world thinks he was that way, but he really wanted to do things authentic and portray the rancher in the right light. I appreciated that.